You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more.
Weeppaaaa, what up, mi gente? It's your boy Al Mega. Welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders podcast. And today, we're talking some dope independent comic books, an amazing graphic novel. And what we have here is one half of that amazing team. I mean, this person is an animator, an illustrator, comic strip author, a filmmaker. Oh my God, how many hats can one person wear? I'm very happy to introduce this amazingly talented person from up north, the one, the only, Boum.
Hey. Thank you for that intro. I used to be a filmmaker. I'm not wearing that hat anymore.
Okay.
I mean, I do comics now.
One hat off. Good afternoon, Big Daniel. Thanks for tuning in, my big homie. All right, so one hat is off, but so you still kind of have a semi hat. You know, it's in your back pocket. It's hanging. You never know. Yeah. They're gonna bring you back, to want to even do this book as a film, which we're gonna be getting into in a little bit, folks, because it's a beautiful book, and I'm only halfway through at this point. A nice sized graphic novel, beautiful imagery. That's when you read, you gotta absorb that art, because let me tell you, Boum emulates that art wonderfully. You see the emotion, like I was saying in the backstage. It was like, wow, I was feeling the energy of the character through the artwork, which is wonderful. So now we're gonna get into the origins of those skills of yours. All right, so let's reel it back. Let us know where you were originally from and the first thing that you ever fell in love with in fandom.
I'm from Montreal, Canada, and I still live there. And the first thing I fell in love, like a fandom, I think like a true, like when I became a true fan, I must have been 12, and it was the Final Fantasy series, the video game series. Yeah, so that must have been my first foray into any fandom. Although I did have a good look at the anime instruction booklet of the Zelda game on the Super Nintendo, so A Link to the Past. I studied that booklet like a great deal, and I would copy the drawings from it.
So how did you have siblings that got you into it, or your parents hooked you up, or how did you even get access to your fandom?
My mother, well, both my parents, they did love video games at the time. And so the Zelda thing is definitely my mom's interest. Yeah. As for the Final Fantasy, I think what happened is that I just went to the video rental place, and I just looked at back then you would have like the actual video game case, and you would look at it and be like, oh, I'm going to rent this one. And I just looked at it and played it, and I really got into it then. I was 12, yeah. And then my mother, I think it's thanks to my mother, she would keep renting more games for me.
Yeah,
to reward me,
those days of us going to, I used to go to Blockbuster, and not to rent games, but I'd buy the used games, because why am I paying full price for a good working game?
Yeah, well, I did that too afterwards when I had money like to myself.
Oh yeah, my collection was big, $15, $10, $20 for games. Heck yeah, bring it on, baby. I'm all about it. So were you alone in your geekdom? Were you all playing these games by yourself, or did you wind up getting a tribe of folks, where you come from, and enjoying in fandom with you?
That JRPG thing was pretty much on my own until I made a friend in high school who also became a cartoonist afterwards. So her name is Cab, and she's also a cartoonist from Montreal. So we were both teenagers, and she wouldn't play as much, but she would definitely, like, after school, be a backseat gamer, like, because they used to be like single player games, because it's a role playing game. So I would play and she would watch, and then would make tons of fan art. And
the original Twitch. When you had your friends in your house watch you play without cameras. I hear you. I mean, I was the back of the days Street Fighter. Everybody's round robin. Let's see who could knock down the champ. I mean, and I won't talk shit in case somebody wants to challenge me. I'm horrible. So here you are. You say, you had a friend that wound up being creative. How did that lead you into your creative road and journey?
I've always been creative, though. I would write and draw comics at a very young age. I was on the school newspaper team at like, I want to say 11, and I was like
You a
the
school people person, hey.
resident cartoonist for the, in my elementary school.
Cool.
When I was about 11. And then I just kept drawing. And I didn't think, I think when I was a teenager, I didn't think that comics was an actual job in where I'm from, in Quebec.
Yeah.
There weren't any local publishers, and the local authors kind of worked in the dark. Either they were published in the US, something like Marvel or DC, or they were published in France or Belgium, because we speak French where I'm from, so they would be published in Europe. And then you would know if this or that comic was from a local author because it was published in Europe, so we wouldn't know. So I didn't think it was an actual job. So I went into traditional hand-drawn animation instead. So I studied that for a while, and then I ended up working in that domain, in that field for a few years. And I would still do comics on the side, but I didn't think I would have an actual career out of them eventually. And then what happened is that I had kids. And when I got pregnant, turns out that a freelancer, an animation freelancer's job is always a rush job.
Yeah.
Well, where I'm from at least. And I was very sick as pregnant. And then afterwards I had a newborn. And so I had to stop taking contracts in animation.
Oh, that sucks.
I kept making comics on the side. And so when I emerged from my parental leave, I had 2 kids. Suddenly I was a cartoonist, and I had a bunch of comics made. I had a bunch of books I self-published, and then I was ready to tackle more serious comics, like thicker, longer books. And then here I am. I haven't animated in 12 years now, and I don't miss it, because I found out with time that what I enjoyed was telling stories through drawing, and comics checks all the boxes. And
Wonderful. So talk about getting into that journey, especially from Canada, because again, being from the States, how is it easy in Canada to get into it? I mean, how did you learn to self-publish? What was that learning curve like for you?
The comics community in Montreal is quite close knitted. There's a bunch of people that live close by, and we're all buddies. And so when I began thinking about self-publishing comics I had made, it was very easy to just be like, hey, can you help me? And where do you get it printed? And so that's how it started. But now I'm not saying that it's easy to do comics in Canada. I'm from Quebec, and Quebec, because we speak French, it's kind of like another...
Different world.
It's a different world. Yes, we do get to meet other Canadian cartoonists, but we publish in French and they publish in English. And so to have my book in the rest of Canada, I have to have it translated in English. So it's a different world. But it's the community is so small that I feel like the minute you start taking it seriously and making comics and putting yourself out there, you're going to be known in the comics field in Quebec pretty quickly. I think it took maybe 3 or 4 months that pretty much, I don't want to say everybody, but people had heard my name around. And so I would show up in festivals and they were like, oh, I know, yeah, I've heard of you. And I was a nobody. Like I had maybe almost nothing.
They're calling you.
So that was pretty fast. And we have a bunch, also because it feels like we're some sort of micro society, because we have a bunch of events all around Montreal. So we have Comic Cons, anime cons, comics festivals, children's literature festivals. So if you want to do a bunch of events to sell your things, you have plenty to pick, like plenty to choose around the city of Montreal and Quebec City, which is not that far away.
I'm sorry? Have you showcased at a con yet?
Oh, yeah, I do.
How was this experience?
I do about 15 events a year.
He's busy, baby. You see?
Yeah. I'm very busy.
Right there. Love it, hustler.
And then since since I published my latest book, I've done a lot of them, and now I'm going to I'm taking the plane twice over the next 3 weeks to go to like parts of Canada that are too far away to drive to. So it's been crazy, but yeah, I'm in a lot of events. I used to do them by myself. Now I have a publisher and a distributor for my books, so I usually get invited to go and present my work.
So great.
It's changed. I've been here a while.
Love it, love it, love it. So you have this book coming out from POW POW Press. Look, what a name!
Yes.
That's what my mama used to tell me if I misbehave. You want POW POW? I was like,
That's exactly what it means. Like the gun sound, like pow pow, like cowboys and the kind of thing.
There you go. It's POW POW. You're getting a spanking if you don't read these books. It's some dope stuff. Let me show off this cover. It is a gorgeous cover. There's this book called The Jellyfish. Again, from POW POW Press, folks. The links are below, so you can get that on pre-order because it will be dropping, May 7th, May 8th. So get them orders out there. Hey, oh my God,
it exists. Hey! I got this is my only copy, and I got it 2 days ago.
So look how beautiful. Let me see the spine. Let me see how thick. Oh, look at the girth on that.
It's pretty thick. Yeah.
Yes.
And so it's thirst trap page.
Weeppaaaa. Yeah. What a gorgeous looking book. I mean, the story is wonderful. I mean, talk about the development of the story. Just to give you another sample of a page, folks. I mean, look at that sample, just the inside. Gorgeous black and white art, so emotive. And yeah, you'll find out what those little things are. Those are not blotches of anything. You'll find out right now in a bit what's popping through this book. The Jellyfish, again, POW POW Press, dropping real soon. Link is below. So talk to me about the creation of this project. I mean, how did this even come about? And this concept is wild. Because let me tell you, I was feeling the character's energy and flow. And even I was like feeling a type of way, seeing what the character was experiencing. Like, oh shit, this is wild. Why am I feeling this way? Great job. Yeah, your art is spot on. So talk about the story.
The story is about Odette, who's a bookseller who dropped out of university. But at the very beginning of the book, they get a diagnosis. They have a jellyfish inside of one of their eyes. And it sounds like at first it's just annoying, and the reader can see the jellyfish as well. So Odette sees it. Nobody else in the book can see the jellyfish, but the reader can. And so it's an eye disease, and throughout the book, the jellyfish gets bigger and multiplies. And so it's about vision loss of eyesight, and it's about grief of a past life, about independence, about the importance of a chosen family, surrounding yourself with people who support you, yes, and accepting what life's throwing at you. And so I came up with this idea. It's pretty simple, actually, because I have had eye diseases for almost 20 years now.
The jellyfish, right?
Yeah, well,
I thought you were messing with me for a minute. I was looking at your shirt. I said, I hope it's not a white shirt only. Am I seeing jellyfish now?
on my shirt? It's glasses, actually.
You look like the blotch. I'm like, oh my God.
I didn't even think about it. I just wore that.
You should mess with every podcaster going forward and wear that shirt and say, they know it's a white shirt. What are you talking about?
And so because I had, how it started, actually, how I started having eye problems, I could see, floaters. A lot of people end up with floaters in their eye at some point.
What floaters? So I see some wormy things sometimes.
Yes, so that's basically what they are. Well, I think they could be like tiny dots, but they can be the worm things.
Oh, no. My shit is not dots. I swear to God.
No. They can be worm things. I have seen those too. But they can be dots. I had dots. I could see dots. So they're gray dots, and they're kind of translucent, and they can be really annoying. But that's from what I understand, because I am not a doctor, they are in the gelatin part of the eye, and that eventually they float until they reach the bottom of the eye, and then we can't see them anymore until we get a new one. But that's totally normal. A lot of people end up getting them.
So you mean they dye your eyes, so they float around and just
they float it in, like the gelatin inside your eye. So they float in there. It's kind of like cells, I think.
Oh man!
And that's what we can see. So they're inside their eye, and we can see them. But eventually, they drop at the bottom, and then you get a new one or whatever. So that's why sometimes you have new spots or new worms, and it's annoying.
Gee, thanks for the placement. They know how to clone themselves. How dare they be in my eyeball?
And so I had probably thousands of them in my right eye. So I had this huge blob blocking part of my vision. And
was it visible to others, though? I mean,
no. I mean, if an ophthalmologist looked inside my eye, they could see that the inside is blurry. Yeah.
Wow. Crazy.
And so it moved because it's inside the eye, right? So it moved like a jellyfish. Like if I looked one way, there would be some delay, and then the blob would slowly like float back into the center of my vision, and it looked like a jellyfish. And when I went to see a doctor about this, they had no clue what I had, and because I didn't have a diagnosis, I didn't have a name for it, and so I made up one. I'm like, I have a jellyfish inside of my eye, and I ended up thinking it would probably be doable to write an actual story with a character who has a literal jellyfish inside of their eyes. So the story basically wrote itself afterwards.
I mean, from what I've read so far, you definitely show that the medical people don't kind of give two shits because they're at a loss in the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you, I laughed out loud several times. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, if somebody tells me this, I'm gonna be bugging out. And if I see, but they're like, yeah.
Well, that's because that's basically what I went through.
Really? I mean, you telling me that, yeah, all right, good luck.
Kinda. There was this one doctor, that's exactly how she is depicted in the book, that I would ask her questions, and I don't know if she had any answers for them, but maybe she had some kind of rule book where she couldn't say, I don't know.
Non-answer.
So instead of saying whatever, she would just not say anything. And she would leave.
Non-answer.
But I did end up eventually seeing doctors that did know what they were doing, and they were really nice. So that's, I have a good ending. But
may I ask how long that journey was from when you had the issue up until you I mean, I don't know if it's resolved, but to getting some type of good treatment for it?
I did not get treatment for that thing in particular. What happened is that I kept having other diseases on top of it, and I had treatments for them. And then in March 2021, I lost my eye. So now I am blind in this eye. And this, we did find out what was causing the whole thing. So I have an autoimmune disease, and now I have treatment for that. And so now it's fine. It's a relief. We know what I've been having all this time. But I became blind in this eye while working on the book, which feels like weird.
Folks, you know how important vision is to an artist. Not for nothing, man, respect. How the F did you even produce the art that you produce?
It took a while.
One eye. I mean, not now. You're like a sniper with that one eye. Then, like, oh shit. But I mean, I'm saying, wow.
that other eye can see pretty good. It took a few months to get back into it. Maybe 2 or 3 months, where drawing was very strange because I had suddenly, lost half of my eyesight, and the perception of death is affected. And so this is also the first book that I do entirely digitally. I used to have a paper stage at some point, but drawing on paper is just not fun for me anymore because of the fight between my two eyes.
Let me ask again, because man, this is a journey, and I now have these questions. So how long? When did you try to get back onto paper, and what made you really realize that I can't do paper right now?
Because I lost my eye while I was at the beginning stage of the book, I just straight ahead decided I'm going to do this digital. But then the book came out in French, and it was well, at least my biggest success I've ever had, and it's been pretty successful.
Nice.
I sold lots and won a bunch of awards for it, which is nuts. I'm still, pinching myself. But then when it came out and got successful, I would get requests from people who wanted to buy originals for it, but they don't exist. I don't have originals.
Wow.
And so there was this guy who wanted to buy an original, and I was like, I'm going to do a commission for you. And then I decided to do it on paper with ink, like an ink wash type thing that I had already done in the past for another comic of mine. And so he paid me, and I began working on it. And I had the worst time of my life working on that thing.
Wow.
And I was really worried that the quality was going to be awful. And it ended up looking fine, and he loved it. But I hated the process for it because I struggled so much to get the lines right. I would get headaches. I could see like it was blurry. It took me the longest time. And as I was working on it, I realized that unless, I don't know, maybe medicine's going to get some sort of, medicine's going to improve and they're going to be able to bring my eye back. But unless I can adapt in some way, if I stay the same for the rest of my life, I don't think I can draw a full comic on paper anymore. I don't think so.
So how does digital make the process easier?
For the book, I don't know digital.
Yourself in the way artistically that you work,
The digital part, I did half the book on iPad, so it's not even like something very fancy. iPad is kind of expensive.
Well, it is fancy.
But everyone has an iPad, or a lot of people have an iPad. But,
but not the right tools for them, not the right pens,
Oh yeah, right. But I have a right anyway. So it's just a lot of fun to do, and I think the fact that I can zoom in and the fact that I can undo everything. It's kind of become my crutch, I think, for my disability. And
not a crutch.
The book,
just a tool to elevate.
It's a tool. Okay. It is a tool.
Another part of you. You've learned to extend and use what happened to you in a different way, and now now you're full throttle again. You always got in that positive for me. There ain't no crutch because you are amazing. Don't you dare.
Thank you.
Do I have to show that page again, folks? I'm going to show you that page again. Let me look how beautiful that page is. I mean, and I'm a big fan of black women. All right, it's like, wow, gorgeous.
Thank you.
Talk to me about the team too that you built, to create this beautiful book.
The team? You mean like the publisher?
Yeah, the publisher. Yeah, why did you choose this publisher, or did they choose you? How did this even work?
I pitched it to them. They were my plan A. I tried getting it out there in the States first, which was not my initial idea, but because you need a literary agents often in the States to work in comics. It's not a thing in Quebec. We don't have that.
US, capitalistic crap where it's okay, and the gatekeepers, I hate that, but whatever. I get it.
And so after maybe 2 years of working on the script, sending it around, and getting no luck in the States, I went back to what I had initially planned for this book, and I pitched it to POW POW Press. They're also from they're Montreal based. Nice. And it was really, really easy to work with them. They were really invested in the story. They would give me plenty of constructive feedback without ever, forcing me to do any changes if I didn't want to. They had, great insight. They were really, really lovely to work with. This is my 16th book.
16. Boum is a veteran. That's it.
I've been here for a while. Yeah. So because
you know what I mean,
because this is my first real success. So a bunch of people who hadn't heard about me around the province and even Europe, because the book came out in France and Belgium and Switzerland.
Dope.
They would approach me, be like, "Oh, this looks really nice. Is this your first book?" And I'm like, "No." And they're always like taken aback, like, "Oh my god, like where have you been? Where have I been?" So that it's really interesting.
Why didn't I get you first and get money off of you somehow? You know what I mean? Like, no. Boum's gonna murder it. You know, I'm really excited. I like to see that there's, just people out there. I mean, look, you're a vet in the game. You know what I mean? And now you're getting your just desserts, what you deserve in that hard work, especially through that struggle. Yeah, again, working in one eye. Again, you hit me here. I'm a fan. Because, you are incredible. I'll say that. Incredible Boum. Weeppaaaa. I'm digging it. So, folks, again, that's the link right there. I have it sharing it below. And I want to talk about this cover because I want you to see what the hell I'm sharing. I mean, talk about this cover. Look how gorgeous, the color palette, everything. Dope.
Thanks. I don't know. I got this idea very early on, and I tried, when you have an idea for a cover, when it's the first one you have, you're kind of like, it mustn't be the best one. And then you try to come up with other ideas, but this one just stuck. This one was the best one from the get-go. I just thought that it explained pretty well what it's about without also saying exactly what it's about. So it's a bit intriguing. Yes.
It's a very intriguing cover because when you see this, you definitely, it's definitely eye candy for the shelf. I'll say that much for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're gonna be pulling people in like fish. Are you
hopefully
like the fish?
Into jellyfish?
I mean, for real, I'm digging it. So talk to me, this book is gonna be dropping again May 7th, May 8th, POW POW Press, but the link is below. I'm gonna add also the POW POW. I'm gonna add that and make sure that we have that, straight from the pub. Make sure we're showing that love. So talk to me about what can we expect, for the rest of 2024 from you. What shows, any more new projects? What do you got going on?
I had a pretty busy spring. This week, I'm headed to Moncton, New Brunswick, in Canada, for a festival with both languages of the Jellyfish, so the French and English version. The English version wasn't even supposed to be there, but because we got it early, then I'm going to have it there in Moncton. And then in May, I'm going to be at TCAF, so the Toronto Comic Arts Festival. And then I'm going to be at VanCAF, which is the Vancouver Comic Arts Festival. Yeah. And then I'm going to be at MCAF, which is the Montreal Comic Arts Festival. And they're all back to back. So like one right after the other. I'm going to be exhausted. I'm going to be at least at one American festival. I'm going to be at Small Press Expo in Bethesda, Maryland.
Oh, cool.
So that's in September. I don't know about any other ones, but I'm pretty sure my publisher is going to just try and fit me everywhere he can.
Yeah. Get it done. We need to see more Boum. We got to bring it to the States and make sure they get access to this gorgeous book. Because as soon as we're done, I'm getting right back to it because I'm intrigued. Things are happening, folks. So I'm like, it can't be. And not knowing her story, that it kind of feels like it's semi-biographical. Let's see.
It is. It's written in the book. You don't know about my actual eye problems until you read the bio at the end. And so people read the whole book and then they get at the end and they're like, oh God. And then the book.
Well, thank you for the forewarning. Let me say, you already got me in my field, so I think I'm going to go into it more emotion and seeing you as the character the whole time. Again, a salute to you. Thank you for your creativity, sharing of yourself with the people, and I can't wait to hopefully get to meet you in person one day. And get that book signed because I'm a fan for real. I love your story and many blessings for it. You got this. Weeppaaaa for real.
Thanks.
Folks, I've been sharing it. I got to share once more. She has a Patreon right here. So patreon.com/Boum. Follow on social on Facebook, Boumeries. Did I say that right?
Yeah, well, Boumeries is the URL. The page is now called Boum, but Boumeries was my webcomic I had running for 9 years, which was a journal comic. So it's a comic strip.
Oh, 9 years?
Slice of life. Yeah, 9 years, about 1,700 strips. Or
what?
It's all on the internet, almost all free to read. Yeah.
Oh my God. Folks, I'm talking no shit. If she could do all this, so can you. You hear this? She's more salutes. My gosh. And then on Instagram, it's just Boumeries.
Yes.
straight up. Please visit the website at the Boum Folio. When I say boom, folks, it's not American style. It's BOUM. Okay.
The French spelling.
Les French, you know, real name right there. Don't ask me no more, please. And visit the website at boomfolio.com. Links are below. But most importantly, I have the Amazon link, but I will also find the POW link to make sure you go straight for the publisher. But also have the Amazon. Get that book. It is dropping in May. This is shelf porn, folks. It's a beautiful. Put that book up again. I want people to see how gorgeous that book up is. I mean, look at it. Don't you want this on yourselves, folks? Look at that. Look at woo! You saw me.
I see.
Yet. Oh my God, I can't wait. You are teasing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, folks, you have no idea what's going on over here. Jeez, I cannot wait to finish the book. Folks, again, show the love, support independent creators, support folks like Boum. This is what we need in the business. The slice of life joint right here is amazing. This is what's beautiful about comic books and independent comic books in particular. So many different types of stories, something for everyone. So don't hate, emulate, baby. And with that, it's Boum, it's Mega. Hasta la próxima. Much love. Weeppaaaa!
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.